In this day and age, it is quite apparent that many ideas are exchanged, thoughts are tossed around, opinions are being sold. And when you're just sitting there like an everyday person and you're scrolling through social media, watching all the content flowing through your phone or your TV, it is no wonder that you might be feeling like you have to do something with your life. You must go and accomplish these great things.
Be like, son, please, just try and get 50.
And with that being said, of course you should. Of course you have to. For you, but with balance. As a young man growing up in Egypt, I really didn't know anything about life, and I was kind of caught between what the reality around me was telling me how I should be and whatnot. I did know that I was a bit different though. I definitely wanted to be something great, but when you're a teenager, where do you start?
I'm amazed you ever got past puberty.
And I think the majority of us go through this kind of identity crisis when we hit our teen years. And for me, it was a little bit different because I was an American growing up all the way in Egypt. So there's different mindsets, different everything.
No shit, that's interesting.
You fake it till you make it, right? And during my development, I did learn a few things that I feel compelled to share with you. Kind of like a life GPS, if you will.
Do you know the way?
Before you actually have to face life itself. If you start feeling a little lost, it is super important to acknowledge what you are feeling. One day I had this amazing question for a math teacher about such a dry subject, calculus. He said, and I remember this like it was yesterday.
I suppose it's way too much to hope that you're making this up just to bother me.
He's like, Andrew, your curriculum is this big and you want to know this much. Don't drive yourself crazy, so please stay here. And at that moment in my very young developing mind, I knew I was a bit different. I wasn't quite sure how different I was until I left the surroundings that I was encompassed by.
This is intense.
Now, when you're in a box and you try to get an overview, it's impossible because you can't look inwards. But you're gonna come across people in your life that will tell you to slow down, or you're so young.
Why do you speak of such things? You're still young.
Don't follow this kind of path because it's unrealistic. The point is, it doesn't matter what they say, you take it, you learn from it, but ultimately, you have to listen to the little voice that's inside of you that knows what's best for you. If you feel like you aren't accomplishing enough and you feel uneasy on the inside, when I've been in that situation, it's because I knew that I deserved to be in a special place in life, and I had to really, really work for it to get there. And it was my mind and my heart telling me, hey, you don't belong here. And if you want to progress, you're gonna have to make some moves.
Look, lady, I gotta get moving. It's important.
But the thing is, I was focused so much on what I wanted to be that I had forgotten about everything that I had already accomplished to be where I was at that time.
Maybe you get an idea about what you want to do next, but you don't remember what you just did.
And we have a very good capability, our minds has this capability of filtering out things that we want to do or that we need to accomplish because society tells us to do so. We have self-imposed expectations and we're constantly trying to get to that goal. But you have an obligation to yourself to keep track of your accomplishments and where you came from.
And try to set an example for the other men.
So on those really crappy days when you're feeling a bit low, you can look back at everything and realize, wow, I've nearly pulled a miracle trying to get through that.
Well, you made it. I'm so thrilled.
Right? You are where you are right now because of all the efforts that you did put in. So don't discredit them. Going back to when I was a kid, I remember having that very vivid feeling of I can achieve everything. I had dreams of purchasing a house, establishing a family, having a great job, or owning a business one day. Fast forward to today, it feels like I'm constantly looking at my phone, scrolling through social media. I'm constantly comparing myself to others and their accomplishments. And sometimes, I'll admit, I feel like, wow, I'm not there, but I totally want to be.
Coveting your neighbor's goods is what keeps the economy going.
But it's unrealistic to directly compare because you only see a fraction of their life. If somebody was looking at your video or your work, whatever, you're not gonna show them everything. So, they wouldn't know everything that you had to accomplish either.
Please, over here, it's, nothing but...
The crazy thing is that when I go through that and I'm like, oh, I need to do more, I have bought a house. I have a beautiful family. I have a business. I have a great job. I'm just happy I have a wife that lets me buy all the expensive gear that I need.
And who's gonna pay for that?
Which brings me to a very important part, and the toughest part actually. When I get excited about something or a new idea or something like that, I want it now.
When?
I want it now.
Like right now. Well, how am I gonna do this? And then I'm like, yes, let's go do this, boom, boom, boom. And then I look at my bank account and I'm like,
We gotta hustle.
things take time to manifest into your life. Especially if you have a family and kids, it's gonna take triple the time, right? Granted, you have to work for it.
I hear you, man.
But think about it. Hasn't everything that you truly wanted, like really, really wanted with every fiber of your being, come to you, or you've been able to achieve it? Now, do you remember how long you had to either wait or work for it?
I have waited a long time for this.
It probably felt like an eternity.
It's been 84 years.
But now that it's happened, does it still feel impossible?
Well, that wasn't so hard, was it?
That's the key. And that's how you have to approach life. When you want something to come into your life, you have to realize that there's gonna be some time, but when you finally are able to get there or bring it into your life, it's not gonna feel as bad. Good things require some time to happen, right? But that's the beauty of it, right? Because you learn so much about yourself and so much about the whole process.
Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
My advice right now would be put the phone down, turn off the TV, go take a walk to kind of like recenter yourself. Think about all the things that you've been through, all the things that you've accomplished. And when you have that little bit of doubt in your mind that you're not doing enough, just try to appreciate what you have done to get to where you are so that it can propel you to go forward. Because that's super important. It's super important to remember how much you've actually done in your life. You know, we all have a story. We all have a place that we came from. When things get really, really tough, just remember you are doing fine. You really, really are. And as always,
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.